Diary of St. Francis de Sales, August 7. Self-love, self-esteem, and false freedom of spirit are roots that cannot easily be torn from our hearts. One can only prevent the production of their fruits, which are sins. But their first sprouts and branches, that is, the initial shakes and urges, cannot be completely hindered while we are alive. They can only be moderated and reduced in strength and quantity through the practice of contrary virtues, especially the love of God. Spiritual Letters. On August 7, 1603, continuing his pastoral visits, St. Francis de Sales visited with much effort the parishes of San Pedro de Sionzy and San Hipólito. He was often exhausted because he always went on foot to places inaccessible to carriages, and his legs suffered due to sores that caused him much pain. However, he endured all his hardships for the good of his flock. Many disturbed or possessed people who were causing problems among the inhabitants of these lands were brought to him. Our saint smiled at the people and said, "Oh, this is nothing." And calling the curate, he added, "Brother, why do you let your children be tormented like this? Do you not realize there is a God in Israel?" Entering the church, he was followed by the people and those poor creatures afflicted by the demon. After praying before the Blessed Sacrament, he addressed some words to the faithful, sprinkled holy water on the possessed, and expelled the demon, so that at that very moment it left the place, and the people were happily liberated. He would sometimes say that if the weapons of God available to the church were properly used, it would be evident how weak the demon truly is. Reflection, August 7. St. Francis de Sales, in his reflection for August 7, offers a profound teaching that touches on personal and spiritual aspects as well as pastoral and community life. The nature of self-love. St. Francis de Sales speaks of three fundamental aspects: self-love, self-esteem, and false freedom of spirit. These are seen as roots deeply embedded in the human heart. He suggests that while these traits are intrinsic to human nature, they do not necessarily have to bear the fruit of sin. The key is to recognize them, as completely eradicating them might be an impossible task. However, through the practice of opposing virtues, especially the love of God, we can moderate their effects and control their impulses. The struggle against sin. St. Francis's proposal is not the total eradication of these human tendencies, but the moderation of their fruits, sins. He clarifies that while we cannot entirely avoid temptations and impulses, we can learn to master and mitigate their impact. This teaching highlights the importance of constant vigilance and active commitment to virtue as a means of keeping our character aligned with our spiritual values. His exemplary pastoral life. The account from August 7, 1603, when St. Francis de Sales visits the parishes of San Pedro de Sionzy and San Hipólito, reflects how this principle applies in practical life. Despite his physical ailments, he continues his pastoral mission on foot, demonstrating the sacrifice and dedication required by true love and commitment to his flock. Faith and exorcism. Faith and exorcism. The episode of the exorcism highlights the power of faith and trust in God. St. Francis de Sales, with humility and devotion, uses sacred rituals to liberate the possessed. His comment about God's weapons underscores that true power against evil lies not only in rituals, but in genuine faith and the proper application of the Church's teachings. He reminds us that even though the demon may seem powerful, its strength is limited in the face of divine love and grace. Final reflection. St. Francis de Sales teaches us that the spiritual path is a balance between recognizing our human weaknesses and the constant effort toward virtue. His own life serves as a model of dedication, sacrifice, and faith, encouraging us to face our internal battles with love, virtue, and trust. in God. This narrative not only highlights the importance of spiritual leadership, but also the transformative impact a fervent faith and a life dedicated to the service of others can have.